What's happening, Julie?
Hey.
Hey, here we are.
Here we are.
Back doing the old hawk and the hummingbird show. That's it? No response from you?
No.
Nothing. Just the smile.
Yep, here we are.
Yeah, we've taken a break. So if you're like one of our 4 listeners who has been just chipping at the bit, is that what you say?
Chomping at the bit. You know what a bit is?
I always think of a bit as being like on a drill.
Now that I'm saying it, I'm like, I could totally not even know what this means.
Try it.
But I think it's like, has to do, like the horse is chomping at the bit.
Oh, the
like
horse.
To go.
Yeah, so if you're one of our 4 listeners who's been like chomping at the bit, well, we probably, out of the people listening, there's probably 4 people that are just dying.
Oh, yeah.
Just been dying
like,
for like the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
Like, maybe. I like to at least believe I create that type of need in 4 people.
Yeah.
I know. I don't, probably.
So, why haven't we really been doing that many podcasts? I think there's a reason, but...
My story is time.
Time.
Yeah, that's my story. Yeah, that's my story. Because I feel like, because listen, we're going to talk about creativity, and I think this is a great segue into it, or leadway, segue, whatever the hell it is, into it. Mm-hmm. Because for me, when you're asking me, this is a creative adventure we're on right now, making a podcast. Mm-hmm. And so for me to like schedule, say, every week, Thursdays at 10, we're going to do our podcast. I'm not always in the mood Thursdays at 10. You know? When the Muse, like, look, it's 6:44 right now in the evening. Hey, when the Muse strikes, you do it while she's there. You don't schedule the Muse, she schedules you. You know?
Yeah. So,
going back to my initial one-word response, time, maybe a better word would have been timing. Timing.
Or the Muse just hasn't shown up.
Yeah,
the
Muse.
Right time.
Well, the Muse has been like showing up in other ways. And, if I let her, listen, the Muse shows up all day for me. And if I let her, that bitch would like run my life.
Why don't you let her?
I don't know why I don't.
That's interesting.
Do you know why? Because it's so much content that I don't even know where to start to get it out. Like, I just have ideas. Like, I really sometimes think, let's say I win the Powerball tomorrow. Because it's like 400 million I'm playing.
Did you play?
No, curious. I didn't play. Okay. But it's like 400 million.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is a lot. So $2. I'm going for it tomorrow. But let's say, hypothetically, Billy Ray wins the fucking Powerball. Okay? I'm hiring some assistants that can just, with like those typewriters that like hang from their like shoulders and like, that way you can, I guess you could just use it.
Typewriters?
Yeah, see? I don't know.
What era are you living in? I mean, you have Siri now.
Listen.
She's your.
I know, but Siri gets 50% when I say wrong. And I
It's
get in
just
these
'cause you need to
moments.
learn a
No,
new
I
recipe.
get in these dang moments where I just start talking in my car and telling all this stuff to Siri. I get to a red light, I look down at it, and it's like a 3rd grader wrote.
Like just a random.
Yeah,
words
just like I had a
there.
3rd grader, not even a 3rd grader, more like a 4-year-old, sitting in the seat next to me, taking notes on everything I said. And like, this isn't even close to what I said.
Well, why don't you use... okay, so you're going to have... This is all hypothetical anyway. So
yeah, but I was just going to say, I was going to have a team.
Someone walking around with a typewriter.
A team of... Or if they're not into typewriters, I get it. There's probably a little bit of advancements.
Yeah, like... Yeah.
iPad. Maybe they'll have an iPad.
An iPad or...
Right. Anyway, a team of iPads. Or if they're old school and they want to carry the typewriter. Maybe some people like to work out. Maybe some people like the little bit of extra weight of carrying a typewriter around, And those are the people, I kind of want to hire those people anyway. That might even be a question in my assistant process. I'm going to ask, do you prefer an iPad to a typewriter? So actually, that's not good though, because most people don't know what a typewriter is. I'm going to have some really old assistants. But that's cool, because you know what? I will hire anybody. It doesn't matter your age. You know?
Well, there are labor laws, just so you know.
Labor laws, smalls. The less laws, the better our society would be. I believe that. But what we were going to talk about wasn't the law. We're going to talk a little bit about creativity. Do you still want to do that?
Yeah.
You seem so excited about it. Like, the amount of enthusiasm I'm experiencing right now from you is like a 10 on a 1,000 scale.
Stop.
You thought I was going to say 10 on a 10 scale, didn't you?
Mm-mm.
Tell the truth.
I wasn't sure which scale you were going to put it on.
Well, I've had a lot of realizations, that's what I'm trying to say, lately about creativity. And I'm not really sure where to start with it all. But I think where I want to start with it is what I've learned about how I personally have confused my creativity with other things. Specifically, I used to say specifically.
That's awesome.
I know. And then one day someone made fun of me and shamed me out of it.
Oh, they taught you something.
They taught me something, yeah. Felt like shame to me, though. But specifically, like how creativity gets confused with athleticism and sexuality.
Yeah, we should start with the sexuality. Nobody really cares about athleticism.
I'm going to pretend like you didn't say that. But you're right. Most people, I think, if you had to poll people about athletics or sex would trump athletics.
Yeah.
Every time.
I mean,
Every
of
time.
course.
So what I realized is I'm not gay. I know, right? It's funny. But
It's funny. And I'm personally, I mean, I guess there's a part of me that's really glad that you came to that realization.
yeah, that's exactly what your wife wants to hear. After 6 years, you say, I'm not gay. Oh, God, this is so fucking awesome right now. So, and I guess I should preference this now by saying, and I don't want to get into all the life events that took place that made me question my sexuality, like not having a father like during vital times in my life, and so that confused my ability to maybe understand how to like show love to a man. Or I don't want to get into necessarily inappropriate touching that I received at a young age from a father figure. But I think those type of life events combined with mannerisms and behaviors, you know, so it's almost like, well, it's not almost like, there's just these characteristics that I guess for whatever reason, and I think society's a big reason why, but have confused mannerisms and behaviors, like liking fashion and preferring to be a housewife. I would love to be a housewife and not be a business person or a man out doing manly bullshit. Right? Shaving my legs, being a little bit eccentric, being a caregiver, being a little bit more sensitive and sensual. There's just a lot of things about me like being a creative person, that are very, very feminine qualities, right? Some of these qualities, I think, I would even categorize as being feminine, and some of them, I think, we're told not that they're feminine, but rather they're things that women do. And so if you're a man and you do all these things that women do, then there's this weird like side conversation or belief, I believe anyways, that says, well, you must be gay. You want to cut hair and be into fashion and write poetry and do the fucking dishes and have feelings. You must be gay. Because that's not how a real man acts, right? And so being that I fall in this list of things that quote unquote are stereotypical or social labels, if you will, of what gay men do, and then having this weird fatherly shit going on inside of me, and having this weird thinking of like, I can get an older man to approve of me if I give my body to him, because I did it when I was little, and that's still kind of in me, you know? Mm-hmm. And you mix all that up into a big like goulash, and it creates doubt, right? And it's made me walk around my whole life going, am I gay? Am I gay? And then I look at all the things society says are gay, and I do those things. And then I look at like the jokes people make about me, and you know, things other guys say about me or have said about me, or different situations, and the fact that, you know, I like dressing up like in feminine type of shit. It's fun. That's why every Halloween, it's like the one time a year I get to express this weird creativity of mine.
The one time a year?
Well, it's the one openly. It's the one openly time of year. Acceptable is a better word, I think. It's the one acceptable, depending on where you're at.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean...
Depending on where you're at. Because some places, even Halloween, it probably wouldn't be acceptable. But what I realize, all these feminine qualities and behaviors and things that society labels as not manly or that is gay, I realized even with all of those things, there's one thing that is like a huge part of my being that I believe is the most feminine thing there is.
What is that?
Creating. And I'll try to like get into this and say, I believe that women have something that a man can't have, and that's the ability to create life. And because women are so deeply, genetically, DNA, spiritually, evolutionary, biologically connected to like that ability, even if a woman chooses to never have a child, I still believe they're connected to it, you know? And maybe you'll correct me and tell me you have a different belief on that, and that's cool, you know? But it is like the most powerful thing, I think, in the universe, you know? Like, well, love is the most powerful thing, but I think the ability to create life is like right there with it, right? And so to be a man who's creative can be really confusing, because you have these things that are inside of you constantly dying to come out, right? And you're wanting so badly to, like, at least what I experienced was I walked around thinking I was suppressing my sexuality, thinking that what if part of me isn't allowing myself to see something that's true that everybody else maybe sees about me. Mm-hmm. And then what I realized is last year writing this book is actually what I've been suppressing isn't sexuality, it's creativity. I've been confusing this part of myself with something else, because creativity, to create, I think, is such a feminine power, you know? And it's so just